Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm back to talk a little bit about the twin flame journey I was on, from twin flame journey to non-duality. So in the previous video I talked about my first meeting with my twin flame and how that occurred. So if you haven't watched that video, you can go back and watch them. They're in order, and there's a few before this one. So once we met, we had that first day, and we had each other's phone number and we kept in contact, and we continued to meet every day. So the next day we met up again, and somehow we just knew what each other wanted. There wasn't a lot of communication. There was a lot more staring and gazing and holding each other, kissing. All of that occurred very quickly after that first meeting. So by the second meeting, we had all of that. He could sense my energy, what I wanted to do, and I could sense his energy more in a sense of if he was happy about something, if he was having a good time. I couldn't sense what he wanted to do. One thing that he told me every time we met is, what did I want to do? He said, whatever I want to do is what we would do that day. So even if I were to ask him, what do you need to do, or what would you like to do, he never answered any of that. He only wanted to know what I wanted to do, and we only did the things that I suggested. And the times that I maybe was indecisive and couldn't suggest something, it was like he could read my mind, and we ended up doing something that I would have enjoyed or wanted to do if I would have known of it, but he just somehow knew what it is that I wanted to do. So our days consisted a lot of just kind of going with the flow. There was no plan, yet we did amazing things and went to many different places and did and experienced many different new things. But everything was very easy, and there was just no resistance or confusion or hesitation. We just went with something, and it seemed like the universe just wanted to make our day and everything just amazing. So just things would happen out of nowhere. People would give us tickets to things. People would invite us. We would meet interesting people to talk with. And I will share some of those stories later on. But this video is more just to show you the amazing parallel between the twin flame journey and what non-duality is. Because in non-duality, which is just a label as well, it's what's happening here, me talking, and even this is not so real, but me here as I'm making this video, this physicality of touching, and feeling and seeing what's happening, and I have my dogs laying here, all of that, that's it. There's nothing more. It's not, that there's a God somewhere, or that non-duality is something to attain. This is it. This is it. It's not something outside of this. It's not something magical or mystical. Those experiences happen in this apparent world that we feel that we're in as a self, but in the end, it's just ordinary life. That is what is real. So with the twin flame journey, I can look back now and see that all those days that we spent together, not one of those days did we have a plan. Did we have a goal? Were we trying to obtain anything? We were just enjoying each other's company and loving the time that we were together. We were, I don't want to use the word bliss, but I guess that would be the closest thing to it. There was just an acceptance of whatever we did, and we loved it because we were together. If anybody else is on a twin flame journey watching this, you probably know what that feeling is like. It's unlike any other relationship or any feeling. And when you get to non-duality, which is not really somewhere you get, it's just basically like, I like to think of it as being like our previous life or whatever that was going on with me. I was clouded. There was a lot of things going on that I wasn't seeing. So it's like lifting the veil, or, going from living a drunken life to being sober. It's just everything gets clearer and easier. So it's hard to explain this without making it seem like it's somewhere to get, because the twin flame journey does follow steps. But if you're on that journey, if this is where you find yourself and you're resonating, or wanting to watch these videos, that's what's happening. That's it. That's life. That's everything. So when you get to that point, a realization happens that life, as ordinary and mundane as it is extraordinary. And the little things seem just so much more special, and there's just some sort of magic or aliveness that comes with just daily life. So for me, my shift happened that there was just no more trying to strive to get anywhere, any goals. Even my work somewhat suffered because I had no desire to just work myself to the bone to get something. None of that mattered anymore. I was just happy doing just the daily things and just loving it. So that is very similar to what happened in the twin flame journey with my twin flame. Our days together just consisted of going with the flow. And in that flow, everything happened, and it happened amazingly. And I find that today, the way that I lead my life, I don't struggle as much or try to control anything, and yet everything still happens. Everything happens. And in all honesty, it really does actually happen better than it did before, when I was trying to control stuff. So me getting out of my own way has really helped. And it hasn't been really me, because I've never been here. There's no one here in this body. This is all just happening. So I was never here, but there was a sense somewhere in me wanting to take ownership and say that I was doing this. And that kind of mental work of, I'm doing this and how can I get it, and let me write this goal, let me do this, let me try. Where now I don't have all of that chatter. All I have is what's happening and what gets done. And actually more gets done than when I used to make those crazy to-do lists and all kinds of stuff. Yet everything flows very well, and it's very relaxed, and the days seem like the time is just sufficient. Everything is just enough. And with it just being just enough, somehow that's extraordinary. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I wouldn't say I have any more now than I had before. I probably have a lot less in terms of physical and material things that I have, or people in my life, or anything. Everything's actually been kind of stripped away. Yet there is just this fullness in everything. I mean, even just sitting outside, especially in nature, there is just so much fullness in everything. My pet dogs, everything is just alive and magical. And that is how the twin flame journey was for me when I was with my twin flame. Our time together just was in the flow. There was some sort of energy with it that brought a lot of peace. My needs were always taken care of. I always had just enough. In reality, I really had more, but it was just, there was nothing wrong. Everything was always right. And even when things appeared to go wrong, like maybe somebody else might judge it as wrong, it was absolutely perfect in my eyes at that time. If you've heard like blinded by love and things like that, that's maybe how you could describe it. But it was a total acceptance that I am with the person that I absolutely love, and everything is okay. And in non-duality, something similar happens where you realize there's no one here, but everything is just all okay. And it's just magical. If you're on the twin flame journey and you've experienced something like this, if you'd like to comment, I'm going to open the comments up. And we can have a little discussion about that if anybody wants to share what that's like for them. And I've heard different things. Not everybody is in the same story. So my story may not be like yours exactly, or even anywhere near it. Yet you know your story. Everybody's on a different path. And whatever that is for you, that is absolutely perfect, because all there is this. What's happening here? It can't be any different. This is wholeness and perfection. There's nothing to change. So whatever you do is perfect. You're accepted. You're free. There's nothing to obtain or get. No more running in that hamster wheel. It's just what is and going with the flow. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and on the next video I will talk about actual scenarios and things that happened while I was with my twin flame that were just out of this world. So I hope that you'll come back, and if you would like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get updates of when I post a video. And my contact information is in the description box, as well as my book. Thanks for watching.